The fastest way to become invisible is to be available all the time. When people know you will always answer, always help, always forgive, and always show up, they stop seeing your presence as valuable. They begin treating it like a guarantee. Your kindness is not the problem. Your lack of boundaries is. Sometimes, the only way people learn your worth is when they finally feel your absence. 1. Constant availability teaches people how to treat you. People learn how to treat you by watching what you repeatedly allow. Most people will not carefully study your values, your emotional limits, or your private struggles. They will simply observe your behavior. They will notice how quickly you respond, how often you cancel your own plans, how easily you forgive disrespect, and how much inconvenience you are willing to accept without saying anything. Then, consciously or unconsciously, they will adjust their behavior around what you tolerate. When someone calls you late at night for something that is not truly urgent, and you answer every single time, you send a message. You teach them that your sleep can be interrupted whenever they want your attention. When someone disappears for several days, ignores your messages, and returns only when they need advice, money, help, or emotional support, and you immediately become available, you teach them that they do not have to care for the relationship consistently. They can neglect you and still receive the benefits of your kindness. When someone speaks to you disrespectfully, then gives a weak apology, and you continue as though nothing happened, you may believe you are protecting the relationship. In reality, you may be teaching them that disrespect has no serious consequences. This does not mean that you should become harsh or unforgiving. Forgiveness is important, but forgiveness and access are not the same thing. You can forgive someone in your heart without returning to the same unhealthy situation. You can stop carrying anger without pretending that trust has been restored. You can pray for someone, wish them well, and still decide that they no longer deserve the same level of closeness. Trust should not automatically return just because someone says sorry. Trust is rebuilt through changed behavior, consistency, honesty, and time. Many people say nobody respects my time, but they continue behaving as though their own time is not valuable. They reply to every message immediately, even while working, resting, praying, or spending time with family. They accept every invitation, even when they are exhausted. They agree to every favor, even when they already have too much responsibility. They give long explanations whenever they say no because they feel guilty for disappointing others. They apologize for being tired. They apologize for needing space. They apologize for not solving everyone's problems. Over time, people begin to expect this behavior. Your kindness stops feeling like a gift and starts feeling like an obligation. The moment you are unavailable, people may act surprised or even offended. They may say, "You have changed," when the truth is that you have simply stopped abandoning yourself. Your time becomes more valuable when you begin treating it as valuable. This does not mean acting superior, becoming rude, or ignoring people who genuinely need you. It means becoming intentional about where your time and energy go. You must understand that every yes is also a no to something else. When you say yes to an unnecessary demand, you may be saying no to your health and rest. When you say yes to someone else's repeated crisis, you may be saying no to your family, your work, or your peace. When you say yes because you fear being judged, you may be saying no to the responsibility Allah has given you over your body, your mind, your faith, and your life. You do not need to answer immediately. You do not need to solve every problem. You do not need to be available simply because someone wants access to you. A respectful person will understand your limits. A selfish person will become angry when those limits interfere with what they want. Pay attention to that difference. People do not only listen to the boundaries you speak about, they study the boundaries you actually enforce. They learn from your actions. They notice what you excuse, what you accept, what you repeatedly forgive, and what you allow to continue. That is why protecting your time is not selfish, it is necessary. When you respect your own limits, you teach others that your energy, your attention, and your presence are valuable. And those who truly care about you will not demand that you destroy yourself just to prove that you love them. 2. Overgiving is sometimes a fear response. Not every act of generosity comes from confidence, love, or strength. Sometimes people give too much because they are afraid. They are afraid of being rejected. They are afraid of being called selfish. They are afraid that people will leave if they stop being useful. They are afraid that saying no will make others angry, disappointed, or distant. So they continue giving even when they are exhausted. They answer every call. They solve every problem. They lend money they cannot afford to lose. They listen to the same complaints for hours. They accept behavior that hurts them. From the outside, this may look like kindness, but inside, it may be fear controlling their decisions. Real kindness is a choice. Fear-based giving feels like an obligation. You may tell yourself, I am helping because I care. But deep down, you may also be thinking, what if they stop loving me if I do not help? This is an important question to ask yourself. Are you giving because you genuinely want to, or because you are afraid of what will happen if you refuse? Many people learn this pattern early in life. Perhaps you grew up in a home where love felt conditional. Maybe you received praise only when you were obedient, helpful, successful, or emotionally quiet. Maybe you were expected to be the mature one, even when you were still young. You became the person who calmed arguments, cared for others, and avoided creating problems. You learned that being useful made you feel safe. Over time, you may have started believing that your value depends on what you can do for people. You may think that people will not choose you for who you are. You believe they will choose you only because you are helpful, understanding, available, or easy to depend on. So you work hard to remain necessary. You become the person everyone calls during a crisis, but few people call just to ask how you are. You support others emotionally, but you struggle to ask for support yourself. You make room for everyone's problems while hiding your own pain because you do not want to become a burden. Eventually, this creates exhaustion and resentment. You may become angry with people for taking too much, but you continue saying yes. You may feel unappreciated, but you keep giving more. You may secretly wish someone would notice that you are tired, yet you never clearly tell them. This creates an unhealthy cycle. You give too much. People accept what you give. You become exhausted. Then you feel hurt because they did not stop you. But other people are not always going to recognize your limits for you. You must recognize and communicate them yourself. It is not fair to expect people to understand a boundary you have never expressed. Overgiving also prevents you from seeing the truth about your relationships. When you are constantly helping, fixing, and rescuing, you may not know whether people love you or simply depend on what you provide. That is why saying no can be revealing. A healthy person may feel disappointed, but they will still respect you. A manipulative person may pressure you, shame you, or accuse you of changing. Their reaction tells you whether the relationship was built on genuine care or on access to your usefulness. You do not need to stop being generous. You need to stop using generosity to earn love. You do not need to become cold. You need to become honest about your motives. Before saying yes, pause and ask yourself, do I have the energy for this? Is this truly my responsibility? Am I helping from peace or am I helping from fear? If your answer comes from fear, give yourself permission to step back. Allah did not create you to prove your worth by exhausting yourself. Your value does not depend on how much you suffer for others. You are allowed to be loved without constantly performing. You are allowed to rest without feeling guilty. You are allowed to say no and still remain a good person. Generosity is beautiful when it is guided by wisdom, but when generosity is controlled by fear, it becomes self-neglect. The goal is not to stop caring for people. The goal is to care for them without abandoning yourself. 3. Being needed is not the same as being loved. One of the hardest truths to accept is that some people may not value you for who you are. They may value what you do for them. They may value your attention, your advice, your money, your emotional support, your patience, or your willingness to solve problems. As long as you are useful, they remain close. As long as you are available, they make you feel important. As long as you continue giving, the relationship appears strong. But the moment you become tired, busy, unavailable, or emotionally honest, their behavior begins to change. Suddenly they say you are distant. They accuse you of changing. They act as though you have become selfish. They may even try to make you feel guilty for having limits. This is often the moment when you realize that they were not deeply attached to you. They were attached to the benefits they received from you. Being needed can feel like love because both create closeness. People call you often. They tell you their problems. They say they do not know what they would do without you. They depend on your presence. This can make you feel important and valued, but dependence is not always love. A person may need your help and still fail to respect you. They may need your advice, but never listen when you speak about your own pain. They may need your time, but show no concern for how exhausted you are. They may need you during difficult moments, but disappear when your life becomes difficult. Love is not only about how much someone receives from you, it is also about how they treat you when you have nothing to give. A person who genuinely loves you will not make you feel guilty for resting. They will not punish you for saying no. They will not disappear simply because you are no longer solving their problems. They will still want to know how you are doing. They will still respect your limits. They will still value your presence, even when you are not being useful. This is why reducing your availability can reveal the truth about a relationship. When you stop doing everything, you begin to see who remains. When you stop initiating every conversation, you notice who reaches out. When you stop fixing every problem, you discover who still respects you. When you stop giving constantly, you see who was connected to your heart and who was connected only to your service. This can be painful. You may discover that some relationships were more one-sided than you wanted to admit. You may realize that certain people only appeared when they needed something. Do not ignore this information simply because the truth is uncomfortable. It is better to understand the reality of a relationship than to continue living inside an illusion. Pay attention to how people react when you set a boundary. A mature person may be disappointed, but they will understand. A selfish person will treat your boundary like a personal attack. They may say, "You are not the same anymore." What they often mean is, "You are no longer giving me the same access I had before." They may say, "You do not care about me." What they may really mean is, "You are no longer proving your care through sacrifice." They may say, "I cannot rely on you anymore." But what they may mean is, "I can no longer expect you to rescue me every time." The reaction tells you what they believed your role was in their life. You are not here to be someone's permanent emergency solution. You are not here to carry adults who refuse to carry themselves. You are not here to prove your love by becoming emotionally exhausted. Allah did not give you a heart so that everyone could use it without responsibility. You deserve relationships in which care moves in both directions. You deserve people who ask about your well-being, not only your availability. You deserve people who respect your no, not only enjoy your yes. You deserve to be valued when you are tired, quiet, uncertain, or unable to help. Do not confuse being indispensable with being loved. Sometimes people resist losing you because they do not want to lose what you provide. That is not the same as missing your soul, your character, or your presence. Let people show you who they are when you stop overgiving. Do not chase those who disappear. Do not beg people to recognize your value. Do not keep exhausting yourself just to maintain relationships that survive only because of your effort. The right people will not love you only when you are useful. They will remain when you are human. And that is the kind of love worth protecting. 4. Islam does not ask you to become emotionally available to everyone. Many sincere people misunderstand what Islam asks from them. They believe that being patient means accepting every kind of behavior. They believe that forgiving someone means allowing that person back into their life exactly as before. They believe that having good character means never saying no, never stepping away, and never protecting themselves from people who repeatedly hurt them. But this is not balance. Islam teaches mercy, patience, forgiveness, and generosity, but it also teaches wisdom, justice, responsibility, and self-respect. You are not required to give every person unlimited access to your time, emotions, and private life. You are not required to remain close to someone simply because they are a relative, an old friend, or someone you once cared about. You are not required to continue exposing yourself to manipulation, humiliation, constant criticism, or emotional exhaustion just to prove that you are a good Muslim. There is a difference between being kind and becoming easy to use. There is also a difference between patience and passivity. Patience does not mean doing nothing while someone keeps harming you. Patience means controlling your response, avoiding injustice, and making wise decisions even when you are hurt. You can remain calm and still set a boundary. You can avoid hatred and still create distance. You can forgive someone and still decide that trust must be rebuilt slowly. You can make dua for a person and still refuse to return to an unhealthy relationship. Forgiveness cleans your heart. It does not automatically restore someone's access to your life. This distinction is important because many people remain trapped in harmful situations out of guilt. They think, maybe I am being too harsh. They think, What if Allah is displeased with me for stepping away? They think a good believer should keep forgiving. But forgiveness without wisdom can become permission for repeated harm. If someone apologizes but continues the same behavior, then the apology has not produced real change. If someone repeatedly lies, insults you, uses your kindness, or disturbs your peace, you are allowed to take that pattern seriously. Islam does not ask you to ignore reality. It asks you to act with fairness. Your body has rights over you. Your sleep has value. Your mental peace matters. Your worship requires attention. Your family and responsibilities also have rights over you. When you give all your energy to people who constantly create chaos, you may end up neglecting the people and duties that genuinely deserve you. That is not always generosity. Sometimes it is poor judgment. A person may call you repeatedly with the same problem, reject every solution, and continue making the same choices. You may spend hours trying to help them, yet they make no effort to help themselves. At some point, stepping back may be wiser than continuing to rescue them. You can say, I care about you, but I cannot continue carrying this for you. You can say, I forgive you, but I need distance. You can say, I am not available for this conversation right now. These statements are not cruel, they are clear. A boundary does not have to be delivered with anger. You do not need to insult anyone. You do not need to expose their faults. You do not need to create a public conflict. You can simply reduce access. You can answer less often. You can stop sharing private information. You can decline invitations. You can end conversations that become disrespectful. You can leave situations that repeatedly damage your spiritual and emotional health. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, showed mercy, but his mercy was guided by wisdom. He did not allow people's demands to control his mission, his responsibilities, or his principles. He was compassionate, but compassion did not mean agreeing with everyone or accepting every behavior. This teaches us that good character is not weakness. True gentleness includes clarity. True patience includes discipline. True forgiveness includes learning from what happened. You should also remember that making every person happy is impossible. Some people will call you selfish whenever your boundary removes their advantage. Some will accuse you of changing because they preferred the version of you who never refused them. Their disappointment does not automatically mean that you have done something wrong. Your responsibility is not to satisfy every person. Your responsibility is to act honestly, fairly, and with consciousness of Allah. Ask yourself whether your decision is based on revenge or wisdom. If you are stepping away only to punish someone, examine your intention. But if you are stepping away to protect your faith, health, dignity, family, or peace, do not allow unnecessary guilt to control you. You are allowed to love people from a distance. You are allowed to stop participating in harmful patterns. You are allowed to protect the heart Allah entrusted to you. Islam does not require you to become emotionally available to everyone. It requires you to be just. And sometimes the most just decision is not another explanation, another chance, or another sacrifice. Sometimes it is a quiet, respectful boundary. 5. Stop giving immediate access to your attention. Your attention is one of the most valuable things you have. It may not look like money, but it works in a similar way. You have a limited amount of it each day. Once it is spent, you cannot simply recover all of it whenever you want. Every message, phone call, notification, argument, and emotional demand takes a piece of your attention. When you give immediate access to everyone, your day stops belonging to you. You may wake up with a plan, but before you begin, you check your phone. One message creates worry. Another person asks for help. Someone sends a long voice note about a problem. Another person becomes upset because you did not reply quickly enough. Within a few minutes, your mind is no longer focused on your own responsibilities. You are already carrying other people's moods, needs, and expectations. This is how many people lose control of their lives. They do not lose control through one major event. They lose it through hundreds of small interruptions. They respond to everything immediately. They stop working whenever the phone rings. They leave important tasks unfinished because someone wants to talk. They interrupt family time to answer unnecessary messages. They allow every notification to decide where their mind should go next. Eventually, they become mentally tired without understanding why. The problem is not always that they are doing too much. Sometimes the problem is that their attention is being constantly broken. A distracted mind cannot rest deeply. It cannot work properly. It cannot listen carefully. It cannot pray with full presence. Even when the body is sitting still, the mind may be moving from one person's problem to another. You must understand that not every message is urgent. Not every call requires an immediate answer. Not every emotional reaction deserves your participation. Some people create urgency because they are used to receiving instant access to you. They send several messages in a row. They call repeatedly. They say, "Why are you ignoring me?" But you may not be ignoring them at all. You may simply be working, resting, praying, driving, spending time with your family, or protecting your peace. You are allowed to be unavailable. Being reachable through a phone does not mean you must be emotionally accessible at every moment. Technology has made people believe that because a message can arrive immediately, a response should also arrive immediately. That is not a healthy expectation. You do not owe anyone constant access to your mind. A simple pause can change everything. When someone asks you for something, you do not have to answer immediately. You can say, "Let me think about it." You can say, "I will reply when I am free." You can say, "I am not able to discuss this right now." This space between the request and your response protects you from pressure. It gives you time to think clearly. It helps you notice whether the request is reasonable. It allows you to decide from wisdom instead of guilt. Many people say yes too quickly because they are uncomfortable with silence. They fear that if they do not respond immediately, the other person will become disappointed or angry. But another person's impatience should not control your decisions. A rushed answer is often a dishonest answer. You may say yes when you want to say no. You may promise something you cannot complete. You may join a conversation while already emotionally exhausted. Then later you feel resentful because you agreed before giving yourself time to think. Slow responses are not always disrespectful. Sometimes they are a sign of maturity. You are giving yourself enough time to answer honestly. You are also allowed to protect certain parts of your day. You may choose not to check messages during prayer, meals, work, or family time. You may silence notifications at night. You may avoid serious conversations when you are tired or emotionally upset. You may decide that certain people cannot contact you at every hour. These choices do not make you selfish. They make you responsible. Your attention should be directed by your values, not by whoever makes the loudest demand. Ask yourself who or what receives the best part of your mind. Does your work receive your focus, or only what remains after endless messages? Does your family receive your presence, or are you always looking at your phone? Does your worship receive your full heart, or is your mind still involved in someone else's drama? Does your own healing receive attention, or are you constantly distracted by the problems of others? You cannot live intentionally while giving everyone immediate access to you. You need periods of silence. You need uninterrupted thought. You need time when no one is asking you for anything. You need moments in which your mind can return to Allah, to your responsibilities, and to yourself. Some people will not like this change. They may accuse you of becoming distant. But people who genuinely respect you will understand that you have a life beyond responding to them. They will not make your delay into a personal insult. They will not demand proof of love through instant replies. They will respect your time because they respect you. Your attention is part of your life. Do not hand it over carelessly. Give it to what strengthens your faith, protects your health, supports your family, and moves your life forward. You do not need to react to everything. You need to decide what truly deserves a response. When you stop giving immediate access to your attention, you do not become less caring. You become more present for the people and responsibilities that genuinely matter. 6. Let people experience the consequences of their choices. One of the most difficult habits to break is the habit of rescuing people. You see someone struggling and you immediately step in. You solve the problem. You make the phone call. You lend the money. You give another excuse. You repair the damage. You protect them from embarrassment. You take responsibility for a situation they created. At first, this may feel loving. You may believe that helping someone means removing every difficulty from their life. But constant rescue is not always kindness. Sometimes it prevents growth. People often learn through consequences. A person becomes more responsible when they understand that their choices produce real results. If they are careless with money, they may need to experience the discomfort of having less. If they repeatedly arrive late, they may need to miss an opportunity. If they speak disrespectfully, they may need to lose access to the person they keep hurting. If they ignore good advice, they may need to face the outcome of their own decision. When you repeatedly protect someone from these consequences, you may unintentionally teach them that they do not need to change. They begin to believe that someone else will always fix everything. They become careless because your support has removed the cost of their behavior. They know that if they make a mistake, you will clean it up. They know that if they create a crisis, you will carry the pressure. They know that if they hurt you, you will forgive quickly and continue exactly as before. This does not encourage maturity, it encourages dependence. Imagine a person who repeatedly spends money without thinking. Every month they run out. Every month they ask you for help. You give them money because you do not want them to suffer, but they do not create a budget. They do not reduce unnecessary spending. They do not change any habits. Then the same problem returns again. At that point, your help is no longer solving the problem. It is keeping the pattern alive. You are not only helping them survive the consequences, you are helping them avoid responsibility. This can happen emotionally as well. Someone may repeatedly create drama, speak harshly, and then expect you to calm everything down. They may apologize, but only because they know you will restore the relationship quickly. They may promise to change, but they do not believe they will actually lose anything if they continue. When there is no consequence, an apology can become part of the cycle instead of the end of it. You are allowed to say, "I accept your apology," but things cannot continue in the same way. You are allowed to say, "I care about you, but I will not keep fixing this problem." You are allowed to say, "I have already helped you with this. The next step is your responsibility." These words may feel uncomfortable, especially if you are used to being the rescuer. You may feel guilty when the other person becomes upset. You may think, what if something bad happens? You may worry that stepping back makes you cruel. But allowing an adult to face the result of their own choices is not cruelty, it is respect. It means you believe they are capable of learning, adjusting, and taking responsibility. Constant rescue can send the opposite message. It can suggest that you do not believe they are strong enough to handle life without you. It may also create resentment inside you. You keep helping. They keep repeating the same behavior. You become tired. Then you feel angry because they are not changing. But if you continue removing every consequence, you should not be surprised when the behavior continues. Change often begins when the old pattern stops working. Sometimes a person only becomes serious about their life when others stop making irresponsibility comfortable. Sometimes they only begin respecting boundaries when access is reduced. Sometimes they only understand the value of a relationship when they feel what it is like to lose the benefits of that relationship. This does not mean abandoning people in genuine danger. It does not mean refusing necessary help when someone truly cannot manage alone. It means learning the difference between support and rescue. Support helps a person stand. Rescue carries them while they refuse to use their own legs. Support gives advice, structure, and encouragement. Rescue repeatedly absorbs the consequences of their choices. Support says, "I will help you take responsibility." Rescue says, "I will take responsibility for you." That difference matters. You can guide someone without controlling their life. You can care without becoming responsible for every outcome. You can offer one opportunity without offering endless chances. You can be compassionate without making yourself the solution to every problem. Allah has given each person responsibility for their own choices. You cannot force maturity into someone who refuses it. You cannot keep sacrificing your peace to protect people from lessons they may need to learn. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do is step back. Let them make the phone call. Let them solve the problem. Let them explain their behavior. Let them feel the discomfort of being unprepared. Let them carry what belongs to them. They may be angry with you at first. That does not mean you are wrong. People often become upset when a comfortable pattern ends. If they were used to you fixing everything, your boundary will feel like abandonment to them. But you are not abandoning them. You are returning responsibility to its rightful owner. You are allowed to say, "I love you, but I cannot keep protecting you from your own decisions." You are allowed to stop financing habits you do not support. You are allowed to stop defending someone who continues behaving badly. You are allowed to stop carrying emotional burdens that do not belong to you. Real love is not always soft. Sometimes it is honest. Sometimes it refuses to cooperate with self-destruction. Sometimes it allows a person to feel enough discomfort to finally change. You do not have to become heartless. You simply have to stop confusing rescue with love. Help when help is wise. Step back when your help is keeping someone weak. Give people the dignity of facing their own choices, and give yourself the freedom to stop carrying responsibilities that were never yours. 7. Your absence will clarify your value. Sometimes you cannot understand your place in someone's life until you stop doing everything for them. As long as you are always available, always helping, always calling, always checking in, and always making the effort, the relationship may appear strong. But it may only appear strong because you are carrying most of it. You are the one starting every conversation. You are the one making every plan. You are the one apologizing first. You are the one fixing misunderstandings. You are the one making sure the connection does not die. When you finally step back, the truth becomes visible. Some people will notice your absence and reach out with genuine concern. Some will respect your space and still remain consistent. Some will ask how you are doing, not because they need something, but because they truly care. Others will disappear completely. They will not call. They will not check on you. They will only return when they need help, advice, attention, money, or emotional support. This can be painful, but it is also valuable information. Your absence does not destroy real relationships. It exposes weak ones. A healthy relationship can survive periods of silence, busyness, and reduced availability. A one-sided relationship often collapses the moment one person stops carrying it. This is why stepping back is sometimes necessary. You need to know whether people value your presence or only the services you provide. You need to know whether they miss you or simply miss having access to you. You need to know whether the relationship has mutual effort or survives only because you refuse to let it end. When you become less available, some people may accuse you of changing. They may say, you are not the same anymore. In many cases, they are right. You are no longer the version of yourself who answered every call. You are no longer the person who accepted every excuse. You are no longer willing to carry relationships that give nothing back. But change is not always betrayal. Sometimes change is growth. Sometimes it means you have finally understood that love should not require constant self-abandonment. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries may not celebrate your growth. They may try to make you feel guilty. They may remind you of everything they have done for you. They may call you selfish, cold, proud, or distant. They may create an argument simply because the old version of you was easier to control. Do not automatically assume that their anger means you have done something wrong. Ask yourself what has actually changed. Have you become cruel, or have you simply become less available? Have you stopped caring, or have you stopped overgiving? Have you become arrogant, or have you started protecting your time? These are not the same things. Sometimes people become uncomfortable when they can no longer reach you whenever they want. They mistake access for love. They believe that if you care, you should always answer. If you love them, you should always help. If you are loyal, you should tolerate everything. But real love does not require permanent access. A person can care deeply and still need rest. A person can be loyal and still say no. A person can forgive and still create distance. The people who truly value you will adjust to your boundaries. They may not always like them, but they will respect them. They will understand that you have responsibilities. They will not demand immediate replies. They will not punish you for needing space. They will not make your exhaustion about themselves. They will continue to treat you with care, even when they are not receiving something from you. The wrong people may leave. Let them. Do not chase someone who disappears the moment you stop overfunctioning. Do not return to unhealthy behavior just to keep a connection alive. If a relationship survives only when you ignore your own needs, it is not balanced. If someone remains close only while you are useful, their closeness is conditional. Losing that relationship may hurt, but continuing it will cost you more. It is also important not to use absence as a manipulation tactic. Do not disappear just to make people panic. Do not ignore someone because you want to punish them. Do not withdraw affection to force them to chase you. That is not a healthy boundary. It is emotional control. Your absence should come from clarity, not revenge. You step back because you need peace. You reduce contact because the relationship is draining or one-sided. You stop overgiving because you want to live with balance. There is no need for dramatic announcements. You do not have to explain yourself to everyone. You can quietly change your behavior. Reply when you have the capacity. Stop volunteering for every problem. Allow other people to initiate contact. Observe who continues making an effort. Let actions reveal what words often hide. You may discover that some people valued you more than you realized. They may respect your space, support your growth, and remain patient with your limits. You may also discover that others were attached only to your availability. Both discoveries are useful. They help you understand where to invest your time. Allah did not give you limited energy so that you could spend it proving your worth to people. Your value does not depend on how often you are needed. Your worth does not increase because you are exhausted. You do not have to remain constantly present in order to be remembered. The right people will not forget you simply because you became less accessible. They will still value your heart, your character, and your presence. And those who leave because you stopped making life easy for them were not truly attached to you. They were attached to what you provided. Let your absence reveal the truth. Let silence show you who reaches out. Let distance show you who respects you. Let reduced effort show you which relationships can stand without being carried. You do not need to become unavailable to everyone. You need to become unavailable to the patterns that keep draining you. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Protect your emotional energy. The people who truly value you will not disappear because you created boundaries. They will learn how to meet you with respect. At some point, you must stop measuring your goodness by how exhausted you are. You must stop believing that being available to everyone makes you more loving, more loyal, or more valuable. It does not. Sometimes it only teaches people that they can reach you whenever they want, take from you without limits, and expect your presence without respecting your needs. Your time is valuable, your attention is valuable, your peace is valuable, and your heart is not a public space where everyone should be allowed to enter without permission. You can be kind without becoming easy to use. You can be generous without giving until there is nothing left. You can forgive without reopening every door. You can love people without carrying every burden they refuse to carry themselves. And you can say no without becoming a bad person. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is to become wise. Not everyone deserves the same access to you. Some people deserve your love, but from a distance. Some deserve forgiveness, but not another opportunity to repeat the same harm. Some deserve your prayers, but not your constant presence. And some people must experience your absence before they understand the value of what they took for granted. Do not be afraid when people say you have changed. Perhaps you have. Perhaps you are no longer willing to abandon yourself just to keep others comfortable. Perhaps you are finally learning that protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. Become available to what matters. Become available to Allah. Become available to your healing, your purpose, your family, your health, your responsibilities, and the life you are meant to build. But stop being endlessly available to every demand, every crisis, every message, and every person who only remembers you when they need something. You do not have to disappear from the world. You simply have to stop disappearing from yourself. And when you begin respecting your own time, the right people will learn to respect it too. If this message reminded you of something you needed to hear, share it with someone who gives too much and receives too little. Subscribe for more reminders about faith, emotional strength, self-respect, and inner peace. And before you leave, remember this. Your value is not proven by how much access people have to you. Sometimes your value becomes clear only when you are no longer always available.